beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know who
the
you
pool house
are.
is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
Movie Madness Entertainment.
Welcome, everyone. Can you hear me okay? I have a huge announcement. I just got out of work. Oh, my God. You know, you try for YouTube for so long, and you can't ask for the engagement that I got on my video where the audio didn't come through. Doing live streams, doing video game content. I'm busting my ass. And then the only way I get comments is sarcastic friends saying this is your best content ever. If I actually had a really good video, I wouldn't get half these comments. This is amazing. You're all shut the hell up, RJ. Hey, John. Hey, RJ. No, John, I made a live stream and I did 2 videos last night for video uploads to schedule them. And I was uploading video game content. And one of my StreamYard links, when I went in, somehow had the mute on. I did a whole 20-minute video, one of my most prolific work. And no one could hear a goddamn thing. But you know what? The engagement's through the roof. So get ready. This is how you're going to hear MME from now on. Dead silence. With me just waving my hands and looking angrily into the camera and, you know, lots of hand gesturing with my gloves on. It's going to get better engagement than actually trying. Manic? No, I'm joking. What do you mean this is, when I went from one StreamYard link to the other, I didn't realize that one of them was muted. I recorded 2 in a row. I'm not snapping. Finally. No, I'm joking, obviously. Thanks a lot, jackass, saying I'm joking. Oh my goodness. And thanks a lot, RJ. Yes. Sweet and tender. I'm not talking about the Amico right now. I'm very mad at you, Sweet and Tender Hooligan, for that exposed video on, because you were right. And I don't like it. You So look at all these comments I get. John, you know, all you YouTubers, you know. No, that's the big update. I'm gonna try less and just throw it out there. It just rave like a honestly, this is another Mac stream where nothing happens. I'm trying not to burst out laughing seeing the video put out. I actually was going to talk about the Snyderverse. Yes. I'm trying to get to 100K views in a month, and it's not working. 1 month I was up to 60 or 70,000. It's just not working. Yeah, I know. I know. I don't want to watch it right now. I'll watch it later. I probably will though. Hey, Anthony Beltry. Do you want me to explain it to you? What? No. I don't want your input. I know you're going to say, Max, stop putting out video game clips that only get 1 or 2 thumbs up and 30 views. 100K, no way. I'm just having fun. But I want to do video game content. I want to do hot takes, and I want to do live streams. Ditch the clips. I knew you were going to say it. I knew exactly what you were going to say. I do put them on the other channel. I'm having fun. I'm just throwing it all out there. Yeah, I'm trying a different strategy than everyone else does. It's just put yourself out there as much as you can, trying to record as much as I can. If I ever get my mic back from my phone, I'll be doing vids on my phone, just trying to throw myself out there and give you my whole experiences, everything I do. Well, whatever. Let me fail on my own. Yes, everyone says you do different types of content, you should have a different channel. I'm sick of that. I just want to ditch the large panels. Oh, I was going to say, oh, Bianca, you're leaving. Oh, no. Well, I was going to say I changed my mind on the Snyderverse Netflix situation after listening to some live streams from Syl and Skywalker. And I actually have to give them some credit, because even though I don't particularly think saying James Gunn should be fired is inherently toxic, because I do feel that he has done enough. Oh, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Ultimately, asking for something is a more positive thing than just crying and asking for someone to be fired. So, do I think it's going to happen? No. No, I do not. But whereas this big group of fans, and I know my friends like to downplay the amount of Snyder fans out there, or DC fans that are upset by the decisions of Warner Brothers Discovery and James Gunn. You're not going to stop people from hashtagging. You're not. I know you would all like it if everyone just took their ball and went home and just shut up forever. But if you have a group of people that consistently use hashtags, and they actually had some success in the past using hashtags, they're not going to stop using hashtags. So if you weigh the lesser of two evils, asking for it to be licensed out to Netflix is not inherently a toxic thing. Is it slightly delusional? Potentially, yes. Is it impossible? No. Is it likely? Absolutely effing no. It's not likely that this is going to happen. And honestly, that they're missing a big part of the situation is things are not all rosy at Netflix because of the Henry Cavill situation. Why would they want to invest in a universe where the focal point is Henry Cavill when there's as much drama there for Cavill as there was for Snyder for Warner Brothers Discovery? And I don't think anyone's addressed that situation yet either. No, you don't. I'm not telling you to take them seriously. Did I say that? No. And you could come in, RJ, or anyone else that wants to come in here. I guess I'll pop in the link in the DM group. I'm not telling you to take them seriously. I'm just saying you're actually helping. It was picked up by the trades. You know, most people were saying it was delusional, but it had the discussion. And if you really do not want the Snyderverse to continue, you only help the situation by making fun of it because you make the hashtag more relevant than it was before. Well, you're talking about his integrity, dude. Exactly. And they said they want to be more positive. Now, I applaud them wanting to be more positive and steer, because basically you have a bunch of disgruntled people that are upset, aimlessly hashtagging. So I would actually say this is the lesser of two evils, and it's a more positive hashtag than the other. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't hurt you whatsoever. You could just laugh at the idiocracy of it all, how delusional it may be, how unlikely it is. It's still not impossible, but is it really inherently toxic to ask for the continuation on Netflix? No, I don't think so. Now, will they stay this way if Netflix doesn't respond or they don't get the answer they'd like? That's what I'm concerned with. You know, having the ask is not a horrible thing. It's just, how are they going to respond when they get no response? When no one answers their call? Because that's the most likely scenario, that no one's going to do anything with this, and they'll hashtag to all exist every day for the rest of their lives. And it's just not going to happen. Realistic. Well, honestly, it's probably more realistic for Netflix than HBO Discovery to do it at this point. I'm not actively using the hashtag. They will move on to Universal. Well, exactly, RJ. And they said they want this to be more positive. They saw, even Sil said, I didn't like what was going on with the Fire James Gunn hashtags. Everyone was just angry. And it was a group of people hashtagging that before accomplished some good. I mean, subjectively in the past. And now it was just extremely negative. So for that point, I will say they actually course corrected a fan group that loves the hashtag. And hashtagging might sound stupid, but it does actually work occasionally. Exactly. So I understand that. And I'm going to watch this closely for when James Gunn announces the slate, because if they are claiming they want to be positive, is that Fire James Gunn hashtag going to get resurrected when he announces the slate, or are they going to sell ZSJL to Netflix when Gunn announces? Yeah. Are you going to, but Kal-El, if you want to be positive, are you going to keep this hashtag when James Gunn announces his slate, or are you going to revert back to some of the other hashtags, which make accusation? I'm not saying you specifically, Kal-El. You've been pretty cool with me, and I appreciate that. Or are they going to revert to previous hashtags where they also accuse him of some devious behavior? Keep it positive? What a load of nonsense. It's all gaslighting bullshit. Okay. This is what my video was where there was no audio. This is what I was talking about. Is it canceled, though? Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to, we'll see how it also helps that there's a face behind this one and not just, I mean, if they want all the credit for this hashtag, which they do, because I watched like 2-3 hours. I didn't watch the whole stream, but all they were really concerned about was who needs props for creating the hashtag. That means that you have some responsibility over it if things go sideways. So I will follow it closely and see what happens with it when James Gunn announces a slate, or if they get no response. Potentially. Yeah, to keep hope alive. Yeah. Not you too, Callie. Shh, Arjun. Hey, Mo Moon. How's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm not even highlighting that, Saggy. That's the same thing. I'm not even highlighting that, Saggy. That's the same thing that they say about James Gunn lovers. You know, is that what you're suggesting? I don't know. That's not cool, Saggy. Behave, please. Callie is tired of Snyderverse. Well, everyone's tired, but make Solo 2 happen. Sell ZSL to Netflix, Stat Boy. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But what's the big update, Nick? It's that I'm going to not have audio in my videos because people want to be nice to me sarcastically and actually comment on my videos when they can't hear me at all. They can't hear me at all, and I get better engagement. Look at the engagement on this video. I was like, wow, I'm getting a lot of hits on my video. Oh, they can't hear me. Well, they created the Twitter account after it got trending, Samir, is what I believe happened. They got it trending first using their usual avenues, and then they said, oh, we need because it's trending, now we need an official Twitter account. Okay. Let me get to the comments here on the video. This is me. Here's my great hot take. Listen to it again. Look how I really did a good video last night. Too bad you can't see it. Well, too bad you can't hear it, I mean. Hey, Nick. Look at that. Look how passionate I am. Look at this passion of this madman. Yes. Look at this. 20-minute video. 100% using bots. All right. Now let's get to the comment section. I was so, my friends built up my confidence. I was so happy. And then I realized, oh, they're only commenting because they're making fun of me. 24 comments. Max, today's video was truly a work of art. After today's inspirational video, I think I'm going to be a better man. Thank you for the amazing speech that you've given us today. Bravo, Maestro. Bravo. Thanos was right. Max, this is a masterpiece. I can't even comprehend you today. Bianca, myself with comics. Does nobody check their audio before or after the recording? LOL. Am I the only one that looks at my videos after the recording is done to make sure everything is all right? Aaron World Order. Legendary video. I heard everything so well. Chubby Teddy Monster Productions. Man, I got Sill's voice in his dope background music, but Max, you didn't give us even subtitles. Samir says it's my best work yet. My best work yet. Man, I would love this, to not be sarcastic and then, yeah. Buddy Love, this has to be your best video. Keep up the good work. Masked Vigilante, the other Masked Vigilante, because I'm one as well. This is embarrassing, Max. What the hell happened to the audio? The George, this tops all the other Snyderverse videos. Taladia Plays, you might want to redo this video as your mic was not picked up in the video at all, Max. Thank you. Actually, constructive criticism and lacking in sarcasm. Yes. No, I didn't listen to it back. I made them at like 3:30 in the morning. I was uploading the audio worked in the first video, so I assumed it was okay, but StreamYard somehow automatically muted me in the other StreamYard. I had 2 StreamYards open. Someone finally says the truth. Yeah. Here we go. Anthony Cheeseman, best video yet, Max. Bravo. Max, check out my pitch for the Snyderverse. What's next for the Snyderverse? Also, no sound. Hey, Max, no audio coming from your voice. Thank you. Tony says he's convinced. Thomas Law, 86. Oh, man, this is embarrassing. You have to redo the video again, Max. No audio. Laughing emoji face, neon sci-fi. S tier video, Mega Deuce. BlackRock 316, something wrong with your audio. See? Failing upwards. Failing upwards. You get more engagement when you're a moron on the internet than if you give a genuine good take. I would have commented too, though. I would have done that. Okay. So, where do I go from here? I don't know what to talk about now. I just wanted to go live. Look at this. Hey, anyone that's going to take it. Tubi's not going to take it, Samir. All right. Saggy when you do that. It's like that for all of us. Max, go to sleep. Quibby, shut up, RJ. You couldn't even get in here? Oh, boy. You should drop everything and grab and come in here. All right, but that's my take. React to food videos. I'm not a foodie. I have no offense to my foodie friends out there. I eat too much food, but I don't like. If I watch, you know how they say food corn. I want to eat more. If I talk about food, I want to eat more. So it's best for me to avoid food corn. Go to sleep so you can miss your stream later. I think there is enough money within the. I saw Matt's tweet. I think there is enough money within the fandom to actually fund it. It's just no one's going to let that happen. It could get funded, fan funded, for the budget. I'm not canceled. I'm not going anywhere. Sell to Quibi. No. Oh, you don't think so, Anthony? Okay. No one even came in here. Oh, thanks, Jimbo. I see you in the private chat. Yeah, I was going to react to the video, but I did already last. It's not fresh anymore. I was going to react to the Sil video, but forget it. You want to come in the show? I'll send you a link. I don't care. I don't care. Let me see. I was going to end this stream soon. Could pop in for 5 minutes to see me how crazy I am. I'm sure everyone wants to see that. Where are you? Here we go. Oh yeah, and I did also start a new hashtag. I started a hashtag. It's called Restore the Street Fighter Versus series. And I tweeted at Capcom, and no one retweeted my tweet. If there was no audio, people would retweet it. Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up?
I had 2 StreamYard links in. I wanted to do live streams, pre-recorded content. I did 2 hot takes last night. I'm like, I'm going to do more hot takes. 20-minute video, no audio.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. So don't beat yourself up over it.
No, the only thing that I beat myself up about is that you get more engagement when you F up than you if you do an honest good take. No one would comment.
That is actually true.
Yes.
That is actually correct.
We're
Yeah.
half the problem. You moron, you didn't have the audio. This is your best work. No one says that on my other video. I did some really good content the last couple weeks that had nothing to do with drama, Snyderverse, no comments whatsoever on those videos. You do something like this and I got like 24 comments and under 100 views. I was like, damn, my video's on fire today. And then I actually read them.
Well, I think the thing you gotta remember is when you post so much varied content that YouTube doesn't know what to do with it. And that's what I was trying to tell you is like,
I know.
Like I've realized, because I've been doing live streams predominantly now for almost 2 years. And if I post a smaller video, that doesn't get any engagement. But if I post my usual long form stuff, I get engagement, and like I make half my living doing it, right? And so it's like the whole thing is just you have to kind of, I don't want to use the word train the audience, but you build a trust with the audience and you build a repetition with them. So that's the whole thing. So if you want to do your gaming content, which I think you should do like MME gaming and just have it be another channel. And then just do your live streams over on this channel, or your 20-minute long hot takes that are yours. Like you do better with longer form content, the 15 to 20-minute mark. I think what holds you back, and I'm not the only one that said this, and I mean this legitimately, is I think your panels are too big and they get too convoluted and too complicated. And I think you'd get a greater reaction from the audience if you kept it to like 4 to 6 people. And other than that, because I think there are good conversations that come out of your channel, 100%. There's a reason why I come back and listen every day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I understand with the live streams actually do good, and even when I do clip outs of the live streams, they do good. It's the pre-recorded content that I'm trying to get started to, like you said, train the viewers.
You have to train the viewer. Yeah. It sounds weird to say, right? It sounds like kind of like
my video today about restoring the versus, Capcom versus Street Fighter versus. It didn't even get 100 views yet, but it's also video game content.
Sure. I mean, I put out a video the other day about the cultural impact of Avatar that I spent a lot of time working on, got less than 600 views, but I mean, the people who watched it liked it, but it's like, if I would have posted it on another channel, it might have actually had a better shot. The algorithm, I always hate to go back to that, but it's,
I know all the criticism you're saying. I'm just like tired of thinking about it and just want to release content.
Sure. I think you can do that. I think you can do that and do it in a way where you don't, don't overextend yourself, because I think that's part of I think that's something that a lot of us face. Right. And I'm being legit. Like I'm being honest when I say this, like, you're like, okay, I got to create content every single day. I got,
what was your thoughts on my hot take at the beginning where I'm like, I've listened to their announcement videos about the hashtag, and I'm like, you know what? You might think it's delusional, but it's the lesser of two. These people aren't just going to stop hashtagging. It's actually more of a for something than against something type situation. So it's the lesser of two evils. The new hashtag.
Well,
I don't think it's going to happen, but what are they going to do when no one?
But I mean, calling it the lesser of two evils automatically talks about what it is.
No, I mean, but it's not inherently evil either to ask for it to continue. It's just what happens when people don't respond. It's like, what if they hashtag for a year and Netflix doesn't say shit? That's what I'm worried about. Like, you have to listen to me. No, they don't have to. You can say what you want. They don't have to agree with what you want.
Netflix, the thing is, though, I mean, everyone knows when it comes to Zack Snyder, there's baggage, and the baggage is the fan base.
Well, no, the baggage now with Netflix is the most baggage, I think, is Cavill.
Cavill. Cavill. The situation with The Witcher was definitely a problem, but I do think that his decision to leave The
doing good.
Witcher had a lot to do with the deal that his girlfriend was able to make with Amazon over 40K, right? Like that deal took months and months and months to come together. You know, we only heard about it at the end of the year, but you know, that had been worked on for months to get to that point to where they could announce it. So it makes sense that he would leave the show because he's going on to greener pastures. Remember, he had no idea about the Superman thing until September. So like they were already working on everything with the 40K stuff before then. So that's where he was going. And then the Superman stuff just kind of fell in his lap and he went with it because why not? But again, him leaving Netflix. Yeah, that's going to be maybe an issue, but not one that can't be solved with, you know, more control over the projects. And that's all he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because he never said that the company was bad. He just indicated that he wasn't happy with how the lady who ran the show was running it, you know?
Yeah.
And with Blood Origin kind of crashing and burning, and it seems like the Witcher franchise is coming to a close at Netflix.
Yep. Either way, I do also want to say people that are my friends that are upset about it, by engaging with it, you only help the hashtag. Like retweeting and say, this is stupid. You're actually making it grow. And in some situations, even like mocking it, like, yeah, if you really don't want it to happen, you think it's stupid, just ignore it. Like,
well, it's people who want to ignore it. I think the bigger issue here is what I think a lot of us are talking about is the enabling of the situation, right? Rather than having an actual honest conversation about where things are, where the industry is, where Zach is, where Warner Brothers is, where all those people are, because it's going to require them to, like, you know, let's hypothetically say that this was something that could potentially happen. Think about all the mountains that have to be moved, literally have to be moved in order for that reality to take place.
yeah, I agree with that.
It's something that, like, is, you know, it's something that is completely, it's like it's like surviving in space without a spacesuit. It's just not gonna happen, you know. And I know there's going to be a response from certain people, and they'll say, well, we've done it before. And then my response to that is, no, the F you didn't. Because you can't, it's not apples, it's not 1-to-1, it's apples and oranges here. When the Snyder Cut was pushed for, there was a shot product. There was stuff already in the can. All it needed was to be finished. It needed the 10 months of post-production. That's what it got. Now what we're talking about are an investment of hundreds of millions of dollars going into a market, like, let's say with Netflix, that all pays up front. So it's Netflix would have to fork out $300 million, probably at minimum, to get the rights to it, and then to also pay the talent to come on over. Then you'd have to find out the best way for all the talent to have the 6 months needed to shoot the movie. That's how long it would probably take, about 6 months. Does Gal have that? Does Ben have that? Does Ezra have that? I mean, you know, all of those things. They have to line it all up to make it all work.
You don't have to convince me that it's it's almost impossible.
I do have to convince you of that.
No,
though.
I'm not gonna participate. I'm just gonna watch.
But when you're saying like, well, and you're kind of like giving it this him and Han.
Like, it really doesn't matter.
It does matter. It
doesn't matter.
Absolutely matters.
Scream to the heavens that they want it to be restored on Netflix or
I think it's one of those things where it's like you're asking people. I don't say you're asking. It's like you're watching somebody repeatedly smash their head against the wall, and you're just like, well, it's their choice. They can do what they want. I'm not going to say anything to try to stop them. And all they're doing is hurting themselves.
I try to stop them.
You're not, because it's like
it's not going to do anything.
Some people will listen. Some people eventually listen. But the thing is, though,
what are they going to do if they don't do this hashtag? Fire James Gunn? And
no, they're gonna move on to another one. But every time they move on to another one, you know what it does? It limits the amount of people that go with. All right. it's the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, that if you really think they're moronic, that's the best. I think Samir has the right take. Don't interact with the call.
Sure, I'm not saying. Oh no, I'm not saying interact with them. I'm not saying like hold them down and shake them until they wake up, sort of thing. What I'm saying by that is when you're like, well, I mean, they kind of like it's all a positive thing. It's like no, it's by you kind of even tacitly waving your hand at it in a public spectacle. It is almost giving permission. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's not me, but I'm just like, who am I to say anything? But when you're actively going out of your way to live stream about it, that's still you saying something.
Oh, well, I meant to do a video on it, and that's it. And then I just did this live stream because of the audio. But ultimately, it's not going to do anything. They're going to do something with their time. This is more positive than what they were doing before. It's not like they're going to go away.
It is more positive. I'll grant you that it's more positive. But I think
but I don't think I doubt that it's going to stay that way. I don't hope it goes negative, but I mean, just wait till the announcement. Do you think people are going to stay on message when Gunn announces a slate, or half the people going to say fire James Gunn and half the people going to be sells that? Now, I'm assuming that you might see both in the same tweet. Fire James Gunn and sell it. I don't think they're going to be able to control nothing. I think it's going to be all over the place once Gunn announces the slate.
Well, once he announces the slate, you're going to see your general sycophants going crazier over it. And sorry, if you hear a 3-year-old in the background, she is being very vocal right now. But you have a lot of these people that are, again, the best way to shut all this down is for Zach to say something. And he has to say something. And he refuses to say something. And I agree with RJ when it starts talking about his integrity as a person. Because he knows goddamn well. Oh, hold on.
Was that was that someone demanding to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix background there?
No, that was a 3-year-old who decided to be very vocal for some reason.
It sounded the same. I couldn't. Oh,
no, it's she's at least controllable to the sense of telling her to be quiet and she'll be quiet. You know, you're just like, okay, kiddo, be quiet. Okay, you know, whereas you're like, okay, kiddos, be quiet, and they're like, you know, claws out trying to come at you and stuff.
Super Saiyan.
My kids, yeah, she does that. Yeah, I agree with Samir here. Look, Syl doesn't know anything. All right, like Syl doesn't know anything about how the industry operates.
There are instances. I know they're going to say Sandman and Lucifer, but it's a different scenario. It's way more highly unlikely for a different situation because they're not actively developing Lucifer or Sandman right now. If they were, just like they didn't want Zach to use Green Lantern because they were active development of Green Lantern project that they never got out, but they're not gonna. It doesn't seem likely that they'll want that.
No, they. I mean, I'm just looking on Geekosity Mag right now to see if Mikey's talked about it because he said he was going to talk about it. I'm glad that he hasn't, to be fair. But I think the bigger issue here is that you have to at some point in time, somebody in the industry needs to be the adult in the room. And it's this whole idea that these people are like deathly afraid of dealing with this fan base. Now, what does that tell you then if these people in the industry?
I was actually going to do a video that I think Gunn is the fall guy. They want him to take the brunt of it, get rid of everything, move on and sell. And very likely that you're not going to get many projects at all, except the one that Gunn's focused on.
Well, I think, but again, people are also really jumping again. I think the problem, there's a little bit of optics issue. Okay. So like I've seen people say things, you know, yeah, Samir is correct. Like the shows were made by Warner Brothers, but they were licensed out to other outlets. And David Zaslav's big complaint with Sandman was Netflix's pay structure. He's not against like licensing stuff out, but he's not going to license out things where he can make a lot of money off of. I mean, to be fair, Like the only profitability really that the Arrowverse shows got were from Netflix, the deal that they signed with Netflix, where they started streaming everything over there. The show never made any money over on CW. So it made its money like through streaming and through ancillary markets and stuff. But when it comes to this specific topic, this specific instance, which is what we need to remember, is that they are in the process of wanting to reboot. They got rid of Henry. It sucks. We have to deal with that. Gal is most likely out after her Shazam cameo. That's the other side of that too.
I just don't want to say it until the box
They don't want. They
office
can't
in
say it.
from
Yeah, like why say it if you, that's all
that's why I believe James, for better or for worse, I'm not hating on the man, but he's being a company man by not saying what's the real, by being vague about things and wars with semantics over the terminology. Well, she's not booted until the box office, they get your money first. And then,
well, yeah, it makes sense. It just makes sense to do that. Like he hasn't come out and said certain things are happening or not. He'll talk about them vaguely because he's trying to I think manage expectations. He's trying to let people down gently over a few things, but he's also trying to establish that he is a person who will communicate directly with the fan base, and he'll do it in a way that is, respectful. Like the only person he's gotten snide with really has been Josh from Den of Nerds. And if anyone who knows Josh from Den of Nerds,
but he totally walked into that James Gunn. Josh knew.
Josh baited him, but I also feel like Josh deserved to get that comment too.
I know, but he doesn't look as stupid. No, at least not in my perspective. A week or two later, when it is confirmed that the Cavill's out, I think he knew when he made that tweet. He knew Cavill was done. Pretty sure.
I don't know. We don't know. As far as I know, he hasn't clarified what he meant by that. But, Josh also just likes to run his mouth as much as he possibly can. So it's hard to tell.
He did the typical, I'm going to make lots of money off of this. That's what he said.
Well, yeah, because he did the same thing that the Geeks and Gamers does.
Yeah.
Which is just like, let me get as angry as humanly possible, and then I'm just going to make other people angry and make a lot of money as a result. That's just what they do. But, what I would like to see out of all this is
I know, Nerdette, but when you're trying to argue that you don't hate someone when you're not using him in the future projects, he spent all that time debating and like, well, are you going to use him, James, or not? That should have been the question. But Josh did that just to trigger him because he knew he wasn't going to use him. He said something outlandish to get a response. Yeah.
But Max, you got to remember too, is Gunn, like, they kind of thrust Cavill on Gunn. Like that was Pam. Why does nobody ever talk about Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca and their place in all this?
I'm not blaming them for doing their job. Zaslav on the call when he first took over said that was what their job was supposed to be, was to make these projects meteor to be more successful.
I
blame Zaslav. I don't know why everyone wants to blame everything but the man at the top.
Oh no, I think Zaslav has his part to play too, but people are mad at James for like telling Cavill like this is, like, hey, it's not going to work because they obviously decided to go a different direction with it. I think the bigger factor here is people are just like, they're thinking that James is just going to keep his own toys and that he's going to write and direct everything in the DCU, and then everything is going to be him and everyone else is gone. And like they work themselves up in a tizzy over it, which is like the weirdest thing. They keep acting like James is just going to like, firebomb the entirety of the DCEU and it's going to let it all burn. But Peacemaker and like Amanda Waller and Suicide Squad and those characters are fine. And here's the thing with that though. It's like they've got a slate of 4 movies this year. Never mind shooting the Peacemaker 2 season 2. Those shows and those movies are going to have to find a place. They are like, you can't just
we might not get anything for years, like really go in active development. Like they might start planning them out, but actually start filming.
I think stuff's going to film before the end of this year. 100%. They're going to have to get stuff ready for next year. But what I think they're going to do is I think they're going to shoot these movies that are smaller budget and smaller scale as a way to get them out faster. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a big thing. I don't think we're going to see a Superman movie for a couple of years. I do think we are going to see some smaller stuff coming out within 2024 that they're going to start working on this year. It just seems to make the most amount of sense because they, we're in an age right now where if they have the ability to do a rapid turnaround, they absolutely can in regards to getting something shot and then finished. I mean, you'd be amazed at how many movies will film in January and come out in November. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it happens a lot. So
The update is I'm going to have no audio in my vids because it gets better engagement. Nice. It was a joke. It was a joke. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Did you kick Jarbo?
that's fine. I got to go to the bathroom anyway.
Well, did you
But-
before you go? Did you hear about this limited run controversy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know a little bit about it. I know the guy, it was a woman, right? It was a woman employee who liked libs of TikTok and they fired her for that.
Well, she said they found something in in her Twitter past where she's saying something about the trans community that's demanding to use bathrooms that they identify in is not as
the
large.
bathroom issues
Is not
yeah.
as large as the people that want to use it for sus stuff, like suggesting the people that are so vocal about it, but the majority of the actual trans community doesn't care about using bathrooms they identify, which is kind of ignorant. I don't think she should have been fired necessarily for that.
No, I mean, it's like the thing is though, is you have to own your old shit, right? Like, look, people are going to come at me over the 10-year-old polar bear video, right? Forever. And I've come to accept that. But it's like, it doesn't matter how many times I've apologized for it or whatever.
Let me be
still gonna do
clear.
it.
I don't like that commentary, but I don't know if she should have been fired. She was a community manager for so you want someone in that position for your company to have good engagement with the public. So it wasn't a great look, but should she have been fired? And then the person that got her fired has a really sus history with some really weird comments online. So it's a big big mess up.
Oh, dude, no, here's the thing with that, right? If anyone says anything controversial and gets fired for it, whoever champions that is going to end up getting that. Remember, you remember, you don't know about that, Perp?
Little movie Perp, it might have been better if he did something to a polar bear than what the video. No, maybe not.
No. I made a polar bear puppet say the N-word. So there you go. That happened a decade ago. So it was stupid attempts at bad comedy, really bad comedy. But anyway, I think that the issue, the debate over this particular subject is one. Are you okay? Okay, well, I'll be out in a second. All right.
Well, you could go then. I don't want to.
No, they're playing with the RC car, and my 3-year-old ran over my 5-year-old's foot, and she's just playing it up. She's fine. She does the crocodile.
I know, but do you want someone to go through your Twitter follow? Well, you don't go.
Dude, I already had that happen. I've already had that happen.
No, I'm saying to Nerdette, but Nerdette isn't on Twitter.
Oh, she doesn't have Twitter. She's lucky.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
They're not gonna be able to find. They might. Who knows?
I mean, I
might have some spicy emails. Who knows?
I follow. I shouldn't say this, especially since it's Nerdette in the chat. I follow Ethan Van Sciver and Doug Tenaple and Geeks and Gamers. No, do not try to get him to get that out, Isaac. I don't think he has it anymore. He should bury that and set it on fire.
No, I don't have that polar bear.
No.
Fez, man, I'll be streaming tonight. I wasn't feeling well last night, so I didn't stream. I just watched Puss in Boots and then played video games and went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So
I follow people on Twitter that I really disagree with.
I don't.
Yeah.
I got followed by somebody the other day that was really surprising. And I won't say who it is, but they work in the industry. and I was really surprised that they followed me, and then they sent me a DM and they were like, "Hey, good job taking on the trolls," and I was really surprised at that as well. So
You gotta tell me off air.
it's I don't want to say who it is, but it's just I thought it was really funny. Because I've been followed by some people in the industry.
Not that one. Not Robert Meyer Burnett.
No, not Robert Meyer Burnett. No, not at all. But I mean, I've been followed by some people in the industry. Like I was talking with the guy who co-created The Simpsons yesterday. I forgot he followed me a while back.
That's cool.
So it's like, like holy crap, right? Like people in the industry, they like to talk to people, and they just want to like. I think people in the industry would be more like they're up against the same BS we are as fans, right? Because people in the industry, generally speaking, they're the creatives. They just want to create stuff, and then they're up. They're up against these companies. I wish it was Uvable. I wish it was Uvable. Are you kidding me? I want to travel to Vancouver, British Columbia to just try to interview that man.
I don't want scoops from that industry. Ooh.
I mean, what's the scoop from the adult industry going to be? This person had sex with this person? Or this person didn't hook up with this person?
Well, you can't turn in at the end of the stream and say what's the update. You have to watch the beginning.
TW, there's no update, dude.
Yeah,
the
update is I'm not going to have audio because it gets better engagement. I was just ranting. Just a joke. Okay, that's all. That's all I have. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone, for joining me in this impromptu stream. I don't know if that's going to exist. It's probably more likely than the other one. And then the Netflix one.
I don't know.
Well, he could subvert expectations. I don't know. Might be good at. I don't know. Axel Braun really is also anti SJW on that anti SJW train as well. I've seen some people retweeting him on Twitter.
I just see Gamergate 2.0 happening at this point. So with this whole Hogwarts Legacy thing, it's just gonna blow up.
Yeah, it's pretty big, right? Especially getting close to the release. People are going overboard on it. They definitely are. They're actually giving ammunition to the anti-SJWs on this one. So
very true.
All right. See you later, Matt. I'll probably stay on until an hour. Might as well. I'll see if I'm gonna.
All right. Yeah, I'll dip out. So, all right, everyone, have a good one. And hashtag responsibly.
Yes. Okay. Let me see here. What else should I talk about for 7 minutes? Day one for you. Hey, whatever way I could see it come back, Isaac, whatever way. Let me see here. Go check out after this stream. Go check out this stream. It's one of my best streams ever, and there's like a fraction of the comments. I don't even think there is one comment. Here we go. All right, let me see. Yes, I'm still gonna do everything. I mean, how do you guys feel about that employee getting fired based on her commentary online years ago and who she follows on Twitter? I have to defend her. Like, I don't like her comments, but I don't think she should have got fired. And it's really, what's not cool? Hold on. Isaac, you went to the wrong one. That's for tonight. Isaac, you popped in the wrong one. I still had that open. Let me see. Isaac was trying to surprise me. me see. There's Isaac.
I've been bamboozled.
Why have you been? That was the link for tonight. I still got to figure out what I want to talk about tonight. Well, since you're also a Snyder fan, but you've had issues with the way things, but the last 5 minutes here, let's get your take on it. After you really think about what the previous hashtags were.
Oh wait, did something come out today?
No. Just
oh, this is just in general.
Yeah, just in general, the sell ZSJL to Netflix is not inherently a toxic thing. It's actually for something instead of against something, like the other hashtags were. And honestly, this broken fandom, and I know a lot of our friends like to downplay how many. It's just a small minority that's upset by the decision stuff. I don't think it is.
Hey, what do they have against minorities? Come on, man. That sounds mean.
Well, that's subjective, but ultimately trying to go for a positive hashtag when the others, like Syl and Skywalker, said that it was really negative and really people who had no hope or were depressed, which I honestly believe because I was that case too. So it's not inherently a bad thing. It's just how they're going to respond when they get no response, because most likely no one's going to say anything. Netflix isn't going to say anything about this. Even if Netflix wanted to do it, unless they got the okay for Warner Brothers, they're not going to pressure the competition like publicly like that. There's also the issues with Henry Cavill, and it is better than it was a couple weeks ago. But do you see people staying the course once James Gunn announces the slate, or the hashtags going to be all over the place and they're going to be fire James Gunn and sell ZSJL to Netflix all in the same tweet?
Well, my thoughts on selling it to Netflix, the hashtag, I am actually fine with it. I know that's unpopular because I've accidentally gained an audience of like people who don't like Snyder. So sometimes in my stream, someone will be like, "Oh shit, you're a Snyder fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got to post."
Ultimately, even if no one listens to it, it doesn't hurt you, and it's for something instead of being against something. It's not really. And I see people that hate Zack Snyder's shit and they want it to stop. I'm like, if you see Nerdette thinks it's 12,
actually it's 11.
It's all 12. I know you're being hyperbolic, Nerdette, but Enosh is here. Hey, Enosh.
What's up?
How's it going?
It's going good.
That's top-notch quality right there.
He's obviously driving on the road. I was just saying to our pal Isaac here that ultimately, even though I don't think it's going to happen, it's not inherently a toxic idea. It's just how people respond when they don't get a response from Netflix or anyone else, because that's most likely the scenario. And it's better than it was a few weeks ago. But I don't think it's going to be able to stay the course once James Gunn announces the slate. I think the hashtags are going to be all over the place. You're going to be having fire James Gunn in the same hashtag. I think it's uncontrollable, honestly. But giving some of these people that got success on using hashtags, they're not just going to disappear off the internet. Giving them some purpose, maybe misguided. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Enosh?
Well, I mean, I was going to stream last night about it. I'm going to stream about it tonight. But, my thing about this is, look, I'm not even saying it's entirely and necessarily impossible that it can happen. It's highly improbable. And I get it. Everybody's like,
we could barely hear you, man. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you barely hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I blame Max for this.
Is that better?
Not really. People are asking if you're in a submarine.
Is that any better?
Yes.
Sounds better.
Okay,
yes.
I took it must be my earpiece. I don't know why. Okay. It's wired, but okay. So anyways, no, I was going to say is I was going to stream about this last night because I hadn't had a chance to voice my opinion about the whole hashtag and everything. I will just say, look, I think it's highly, highly, highly improbable that anything actually comes to that. I'm not saying that it's necessarily impossible, But I think at this point it's just kind of ridiculous, kind of pushing for something like that.
Well, it's more likely than Warner Bros. Discovery doing it right now. That's
well,
for sure.
yeah, but the thing is people, like I get it that they're licensing other things and I understand. Honestly, I even understand like the thinking behind it. The only problem is that you're talking about characters that they're going to be using in other things. And here's the problem that I see with it is that the second that they do something like that, first of all, why would they do something that would literally create for them direct competition for what they want to do at the exact same time that they're doing what they want to do? And open themselves up to criticism, because I already saw it. I took a snapshot of it, something that I wanted to use in one of my videos. And somebody was even like, they started off this whole paragraph talking about how positive they were and everything, like, oh, but it can happen. And all they got to do is, do it. And then they're like, and then Gunn can go make woke DC and we can have, the Snyderverse. And it was like, then it immediately becomes derogatory because people just can't accept the fact that anything good could come out of, anything that Gunn's done all of a sudden or doing or whatever. And it just creates it would create a whole backlash. It would create a back and forth. Anything that Netflix did produce would be matched directly up against anything that WBD produces. And it would create this back and forth. It would split the fandom even more and nobody would still be happy. And then there'd be more demands, and that's what I'm just kind of exhausted about at this point. I mean, it's like there is no real end to it.
No, but you don't have to listen to these people. Just like Matt was on and said, well, people are banging their head against the wall. You're just going to say, let them? I'm like, yeah, let them.
Hey, I happen to bang my head against a wall.
As long as it doesn't actually hurt anyone or cause,
I think it'll hurt the property. Like even if something like that happened, they would become their own competition. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. It's not as simple as, hey, we're not going to be using this character or that character, so we'll license it out to Netflix to do a Sandman thing or a whatever. It's literally like, hey, we're going to do our own Superman right now. Oh, but for some reason, we're going to license out Superman for somebody else to do Superman so that we can be in direct competition with ourselves and have in direct competition with this thing that we've allowed. And then go back and forth and then allow these people who get that. And look, I want to see the Snyderverse, man. I would love nothing more, but I mean, it's just not probable. It just doesn't make any sense. And the thing is that the people, not everybody, but a lot of the people who are fighting for this and are creating this, these hashtags and stuff. And I don't know about this hashtag in particular, but a lot of these people who are pushing and pushing and pushing and not letting go, unfortunately, they are the types of people who, even if they get this, then all of a sudden it becomes negative about the thing that Warner Brothers ends up doing. And then it would not be good enough that it's both exist in the same time. Then it would be, well, this should be the main thing. And I just don't see any end to it. I don't see people standing Max by the idea of, okay, all I want to see is Zach's work completed. That's all. I mean, like, it just doesn't seem to want to stop. And
I think things are more dire. That actually what's going to happen. Warner Bros. I know they're saying that they're producing a slate. They're creating a Bible. I don't feel, unless I'm proven wrong, it's just my opinion that there's going to be much getting greenlit and actually going to production these next 2 years. I think potentially just what James Gunn's doing directly himself. I think they're just going to hold off on stuff just like Star Wars did for a while after the sequels.
Yeah, but how much money is okay? That's the other question, right? Because people are like, well, it's really simple. They'll make their money and everything. Well, how much money are they going to have to make at Netflix to throw money at the original cast? You know what I mean? Like that right there. I mean, to pay for Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, everybody to come back and be in that cast, plus pay Warner Brothers to lease out those characters. Like,
well, yeah, no one has to convince me. Basically is like, I'm not going to try to stop people. I just
I'm not stopping anybody
unless they're being toxic. Unless they're being toxic about it.
That's me too. That's why I said, look, I get it, I understand it. I'm not telling anybody necessarily to stop what they're doing or whatever.
Now if Netflix never responds and then they start to get angry, why aren't they responding to us? That's what I worry. Like, you don't have to
because that's what it is. Because they're pardon me, they've tried to make it out like, well, like everybody wants this. Netflix wants to do this.
Or the potential is, and I might do a separate topic, and I'd like to get Isaac in here too. I think this could potentially taint Rebel Moon's release by, instead of promoting Rebel Moon, also saying, hey, we're promoting Rebel Moon, now you owe us with it. That's my fear. That's my fear.
Yep. I can see that too. That's the thing, is that, like, there's no chill. Everybody just needs to chill for a minute, for God's sake, man. Like that's my biggest complaint, Max, about the whole thing, because, like, I would love all of this stuff as much as everyone else. There's nothing more than I want than to see the Snyderverse continue. Like, yeah, and I would even love for it to be the main continuity and to be the main thing and whatnot. But man, it's like, I just feel like the second that you try to even have a conversation about it, like, if you're not, like, fully, like, in over your head, like, yes, it's happening, and and I'm gonna fight for it. And I was reading, I read on my show last week, these tweets from people and stuff, and they're just like, like, we'll go to the death, about this stuff, and it's like, what the heck are you guys talking about? I don't even recognize this anymore.
That's where I will cross. That's where I'll draw a line. I'm like, hey, this is about Rebel Moon and promotion for this next project. This isn't the co-op what you want.
Yeah.
Or for that's
Yeah, I just say, and look, if the answer is no, maybe the answer is just no, guys. Like I'm not saying don't fight for what you love. Don't peacefully make that known. But when I see people talking about, whatever to do with San Diego Comic-Con, and they're going to have to drag us out by any means necessary, and, death before dishonor and all this stuff. And it's like, that's not what I signed up for, man. I signed up for a peaceful thing to support Zack Snyder and something that I loved. I didn't get in this to get into fight. People are just like, you got to fight. And if you're not willing to fight to the very, very toothless end, like, like you're not a fan. And it's like, that's not the case, man. Trying to guilt people into this or make people out to be like that they're not, just because they're not willing to, like, get into physical altercations or something with people about this. And I've just seen people just get rude and just downright just wrong. I mean, about the whole thing. So, like I said, I understand the thinking behind it. I understand the mentality behind it. Oh, well, yeah, they could just do this. But I also think that there's a lot of there's a lot of pushback for how that could even happen, whether it be the money that it would take.
Here's the other thing, Brian, that wouldn't happen either. If people would have chilled, we would have got what we wanted anyway. No, that's not true. I don't believe that at all. If people didn't really push for the release, it would have not happened.
And I agree with that. I agree with that, Max.
So that's where there's a disconnect. Like, if you ask nicely, no, there was nothing nice about the whole release, the Snyder Cut, to begin with. Nothing nice about it. It was pure demanding every single day, loud and proud to say, we know this exists, release it for Zach. There was nothing chill about it. And it would not have happened if people were chill.
Oh, I agree with that. But there was a true, like, purpose. Okay. There was a true thing. Like, now acting like that if we don't get a continuation of the Snyderverse, that the people who are in charge are just evil. And that was what the one I read one tweet that was talking about that. It was like, like, we're fighting true, pure evil here. And it's like, listen, we got the Snyder Cut. Anything else is icing on the cake at this point to me. I would love to see it. I would push for it, man. I used the restore the Snyderverse hashtag. But, like, when I see some of the things that people are doing in the name of that movement, that's not what I signed up for, man. I didn't sign up for threatening people or calling for people's people being fired from jobs that you don't even know what they're doing yet. And I still say it's hypocritical when they go off on James Gunn, because I guarantee you right now, if James Gunn had stepped in day one, Max, and said, hey guys, here's the thing. I love Zack Snyder's work. I loved what he did with the Snyderverse. We're going to restore the Snyderverse day one. We're going to figure out how to get Zack back to maybe, write and direct some stuff. And we're going to continue with these characters. Everybody would rejoice. They would have clapped. They would have stood at attention and applauded and everything. There wouldn't be all this, calling him names and, and trying to bring up, tweets and all this stuff. And all that just kind of shows a childish reaction, like that we didn't get what we want.
Well,
so now we're going to say all this stuff.
Brian, I disagree with you there too. Even if it would have been restored, look how close it actually was. Everyone, all of our friends that say they told us to give up a while ago, it actually was pretty close to happening. With Cavill and Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi. And that didn't happen by people just being chill. So it actually did work. It's just that ultimately they pulled the plug again because they're very reactionary over there and they don't commit to anything. They want all different scenarios without actually committing to a through line. That wouldn't have, if people would have been chill, that wouldn't have happened either. So I actually say everyone that told us to shut up for the last year was wrong as well. Until Black Adam and Cavill being in Black Adam. Yeah, The Rock helped make that happen, but that wouldn't have happened either without the Restore crowd, honestly.
Yeah, look, my thing again is the fact that I'm not saying that I don't want to see it, and I'm not saying that it's impossible to happen on Netflix. All I'm saying is like the idea that it's just a simple thing for them to lease it and to somehow pay for it all.
Well, they didn't say it was simple. Now that they think it's possible, they're pushing for it hard.
I get it. You know what? Yeah. And they have that right. And I will be there day one, man. And I'm all for it. But when I've seen a lot of negative stuff and a lot of demanding, and I think that it's all about how you go about doing it. You can strongly say, this is what I would like to see. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to push for. But, when you start demanding stuff and acting like, and like hyping up stuff more than it is, then it's not coming from a truthful and honest position. I get it. Yeah, man. The Batman cartoon goes over there. That's great. That's great. Sandman, all these other, DC characters getting leased out to different places. I understand that. What I'm saying is that I think that it's a real long haul between, hey, here's a side character that we're not going to use in our main continuity. So we're going to push out there in a different way so that they do get out there, compared to, hey, we're going to come up with a new Batman, new Superman, new version of these characters. But at the same time, we're still going to allow a main continuity live action version of something where those people absolutely hate the idea of the new thing, because like I said, I actually took a snapshot of it because I was going to stream last night. I'll show it tonight. But it was like this long thing talking about how, oh yeah, it starts off really nice and everything. We just want them to, consider doing this and everything. And then it's like, well, then if we get this, James Gunn can go make his woke DC and, with the pedo stuff and everything and stuff. And we'll be over here happy with our, Snyder Cut stuff. Well, it's like, what the heck, man? That's the problem is that if we got all this stuff, there's still going to be people who make it a fight between the two of them instead of enjoying what you enjoy and it's just, it's just become, it's just become buzzwords, that it's like, this is what we're going to do. I got to go.
Isaac check. Okay.
Sorry. I got to go. I had a little bit of a drive and I just wanted to chime in because I love you and
love you too, man.
Yeah. And I appreciate you and appreciate everybody. Like I said, just wanted to stop in and kind of say a couple words, and now I got to go. So, all right, guys.
See you.
All right.
Bye.
I was just about to do an Isaac check. Hey, Isaac. You still with me?
Yeah. I don't want James Gunn to ruin my movies with his wokeness and women. I'm just kidding.
I do. I ultimately though, and still I might do a separate video on this, but still is suggesting
God
that they're
damn
not
it.
going to even do that. There's may not even be anything going into production till 2024, and I kind of think that's possible. And so you may not get any product till 2025, beginning of 2026. So I do think they are slowing way the hell down, releasing what they have, clearing the slate, starting, and I don't think you're going to get a lot of stuff.
Doesn't Peacemaker season 2 come out next year?
It was
'Cause they started
supposed to
filming.
before this. They didn't start filming it, did they?
Yeah, I remember there's pictures. I
No,
just
they
don't know
didn't
how
start
far they were
filming.
into. Let me first search. I swear I saw
as far as
pictures.
I heard, they didn't start filming. This impacts everything.
Where did you hear
But
it?
Degrassi, I heard it somewhere.
Because I remember James Gunn
Oh.
posted a picture of him
It's
having
supposed
filmed
to
it.
start filming in May of this year.
Let me see. I swear I saw a picture, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. But look at what Degrassi's saying about the incoming Green Lantern news is going to make their heads explode.
Okay, but can I give you my thoughts on the hashtag, the brand new
Sure.
hashtag?
Yeah, then
So
we'll
I'm
end
actually
a little shortly
fine.
after. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually fine with the hashtag. Like, just and I'm specifically talking about the hashtag itself, not the people involved. The hashtag I'm fine with because realistically, it's the only way that you could get the Snyderverse restored because clearly it's not going to be under Zaslav. I do think it's impossible though. Not saying that it wouldn't happen. I'm just saying that the high chances are that it's impossible. But like I say, 1% chance, 99% faith. That's all I have to say. But my only fear is that people are going to start believing it. And that was my fear with Restore the Snyderverse, that people genuinely believe was happening because there's so many sources and scoopers saying
why is
that
everyone concerned about what other people believe?
no.
If it's
My
stupid?
problem is when it starts getting into false hope. That is my issue. I'm fine with scoopers doing whatever they want to do. My problem is when people start being like 1000%, because you have to realize
Well,
a
even
lot of the
Sil says
people
this
listening
isn't
to this stuff.
this isn't going to definitely happen. This is, I mean, he does the disclaimers.
Who cares? The disclaimer doesn't mean anything. People are still gonna run with it. That's the unfortunate thing about people, and that was my issue with Restore Snipers. So my only fear, while the hashtag I think it's good, same thing with Restore
People
Snipers,
believe in
is
all
that
kinds of
people
things
are
that-
going to fall for it and then believe it, and then when eventually, let's say in a year or so, some guy in Netflix says, "Oh, we're not gonna get it," you're gonna see people getting mad, and that's my one frustration with it. You know, that's like my only issue with the hashtag is the people believing it. I'm fine with people hoping for it because that was
people
released to
believe in
Snyder Cut.
all kinds of stuff that's not realistic. Why are we dying on this?
Because it affects the fandom, Max. It affects it's all over the chat. It's everywhere.
Who cares?
When people believe it?
You just
What
say
do you mean
it's
who cares?
not.
It's a
It's
movie
not
talk
like
channel.
It's
We
not.
talk to other people.
No,
that
no,
talk
no.
about
I know,
movies.
but trying to convince other people that they're what they think could happen is definitely not going to happen. Who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares? You talk about it every day.
No,
Obviously,
I
everyone
know, but
cares.
I'm not. No, I care to talk about it, but not to try to convince people.
No, my issue isn't like, for example, I always believed that there was a chance to restore the Snipers, and obviously that we were
There
close.
was. There's very, very
we
closer
were
than I
close.
thought.
But
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
right. My issue is when it becomes that people genuinely 1000% believe it. And look at what happened. People got angry when James Gunn came in, when Peter Safran came in, and then the rumors of scooper or not scoopers, reboots. I don't know how I confuse those words, but the idea of reboots and everything. It's like people need to come down to believe, always believe. You know, it's the impossible is always reachable. But we also have to go down and believe that, hey, maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe it will happen. I don't know, but you have to wait and see and find out. And that's my big issue.
All right. Well, fair enough. I think it's personally, I think it's wasted energy to try to convince other people what to think. And there's a lot of things that are incorrect out there that people wholeheartedly believe in their whole lives. It just not.
So are we just supposed to ignore it? Are we just
No,
supposed to be like,
no,
all right, cool, go ahead,
just
believe
also,
believe.
I think also you may have false hope that you could convince other people. Just let them
Who
do
says
what
I'm
they're gonna do.
convincing anyone? I'm just saying my belief that, hey, I just think that people shouldn't just believe one thing and then stay with that. You know, Like, if you met a racist person, would you just let them be racist in front of you? No.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So that's like my perspective. That's my only. While I'm fine with the hashtag and I'm cool with it, and while it's impossible, I still believe, hey, if people want that hope, cool. But you can't just stick with it and assume it's going to happen, because then that will just ruin your mindset. And at the end of the day, whether you want to deny or not, Max, you do have a reach. People listen to you. People like you. Same thing with Jarbo, Enosh, whoever out there. And you have a reach, and what you say is important to people. And at the end of the day, that's your thing here on YouTube. You're communicating with people. But you also can't just sell a thing of, oh, guys, disclaimer, but you have to believe this because I said so.
Well, I know, Brian, that's the old me. I tried to convince, I'm not trying to convince anyone anything anymore. I don't try to convince people that what they're doing, that's why I don't even talk about them anymore, honestly.
But Max, you got to pay the bills. I'm just kidding. I don't think I've talked about them either. I don't know.
No, it's just like, you're not going to convince anyone, so it is kind of spinning my own wheels. If they do something stupid again that I can't help but comment on, I'll probably comment on that. But
you should definitely talk about them when the Marvel comes out, because that's going to be a lot of content.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on covering them, but unless they do something, they've just gotten boring, ultimately.
Should I do something stupid and then you could talk about me? Then
absolutely. We'll I keep looking for you to do something stupid, but then I make a video with no audio and then I look like the dummy. Oh boy, so sad.
All right, I'm gonna do something. I gotta figure out how to do something really
this still needs to be
controversial
on
for
a
you to
shirt.
talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peak cinema. Have you seen the new Velma trailer?
I ultimately I'm not a huge Scooby-Doo fan, and I'm not really for or against Velma. I'm just like, okay. I know it may be some cringe to some people, but I don't know. I don't really have a comment on it, honestly. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest. Like, I watched a couple episodes when I was a kid, but like I saw the trailer and I thought it was okay. Like, I know people don't like it because it's very different.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, it's okay if you don't like it, but like I thought the trailer was decent. I didn't think it was all that bad.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to take by it, but I think that's all we have for today. Check out Isaac's channel.
No, don't do that. Don't listen to Max.
Yeah,
don't
okay, don't.
Report and block me.
I have to see what I'm going to cover for later. That was my major announcement.
Do you not check your videos before you upload them?
Robert Schmidt asks, when did you become so soft? The Snyder Cut brought me to this channel a long time ago. What the hell happened here? I'm still for it, Robert.
Wait, what do you mean soft? Max always promotes the Snyderverse.
I did the restore hashtags. I mean, if I want to on 214, I might do one retweet or something, but ultimately, for me, Robert, to answer your question, I checked out when Cavill was done dirty and we were jerked around and I blame Zaslav because Zaslav is on the Discovery earnings call saying, I'm having Pam Abdi, Mike DeLuca beef up these projects to make them better. And they were doing their job. And some people are trying to make them the villains, Isaac, which I completely disagree with. They were doing what they were supposed to put things in these films, to connect them more and to give a future. And then basically within the same week, someone gave Cavill the okay to say it on Instagram. 2 days later, when they hired Gunn, they already knew that they weren't going to have Cavill back.
Well,
so
I don't blame
out.
Abdi and DeLuca. Like, I can't blame them. It's like frustrating. It's still, but like, I don't have blame for them.
Hard, Robert. I'm very hard. I mean, as hard as I can for almost being 41, but hard enough.
Old ass. I'm just kidding.
No. See, Cavill did himself dirty.
So what was it like?
So I hope that I am not soft on the Snyder Cut. Nothing. I would give a lot of my yearly income if I could help pay for it. Honestly, Robert, if that was a possibility, if there was a possibility and it said, you know what, the fans have to fund this, I would go in on it. But you have to work with the people that own the property. And with what happened to Cavill and also with what happened to Netflix, I don't think it's possible. I'm not criticizing people that want to try.
Okay, but what if we get Elon Musk to buy the Snyderverse?
You know what? When Amico was dying, some Amico fans tried to get Elon Musk to save in television.
Hey, really?
Yes. No.
Did you ever get your Amico?
Actually, I actually think if Elon Musk did buy Warner Brothers, that he would restore it because he likes Twitter activity and hashtags. So I think he would. But I don't think I'm not going to try to ask. Actually, yes.
Is Elon the richest man?
I think you should approach Elon Musk instead of Netflix.
We can either get Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. You know,
I think
whoever's the rich man.
Elon Musk might be more likely than Netflix at this point. I would not. I don't know if I could sell all my collectibles just to get the Snyderverse restored. That would be a hard ask in a movie perp.
I ended up selling a shitload of my Funko Pops because I just had way too many.
Random Trooper, it's too late to tag you to fill you in right now.
Okay, so what's happening is Max is going to be revealing his face this Friday, so be on the lookout for that stream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, he confirmed it. We got it.
Oh God, do you see this? Investing in things that never come out. See the Amico.
How much did you spend on Amico stuff?
Good night, everyone. I'll see you later. I'm not answering that. Bye.
$6 million.
All right.